Hey, welcome back everybody. Alright, welcome back to the hangar everybody. It's not a great looking day outside and I didn't see anything out on Lone Star ramps. I don't expect anything with big round engines to fly today, but if we look here, got an interesting view to show you guys. And I know some of you guys have seen this in the past, but we have the radome opened up on the jet, only because we were doing a pedostatic system check earlier in the week, and to get to one of the lines for it, you got to be inside here. And well, here's a unique view of the radar package on an F4 Phantom. In our case, it is still here, but it's completely inoperable. The Air Force saw to it that it was permanently disabled, but it is still here only because it's so dang heavy. It's over 800 pounds, I believe, and that's an awful lot of weight up front here. So yeah, still got the radar, but she has definitely lost the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. So figured I'd give you guys a quick little inside look on this. There's an awful lot going on inside here, that's for sure. And here's inside the actual dome itself. It's just spun fiberglass. And some of that is for the antenna that's mounted down there on the chin. Now, later models of the F4, you had a pedo probe that was all the way up front there. But on the D models and older, that did not exist. That's up on the tail. So yeah, there is the radar package. So my job today is that speed switch on our other start card. Is I got the one last week, and now I'm going to put it on this one and try to run it and make sure it actually runs properly. So well, let's get to that. All right, so there's the switch, as you guys got to see last week. So you got to change that out, which it's 3 screws. And that one plug cable. So I'm gonna get that out and I can't call it a new one, but I'll put the replacement one in, and then I'll pull this thing outside and see if we can make some noise with it, and see if we get the start light, or I'm sorry, the ready light, which we're not getting off of that switch. That switch is giving us fits. So I'm gonna do this one the easy way, unlike last week's. So here we go. Alright, new speed switch is in, and yeah, that was a bit of a challenge, but it's in and connected. So now, what I gotta do is open the door, get this tug out of the way, pull this outside after I disconnect the battery charger, and then we can run it. So, let me do that. Alrighty. Alright, got her outside, got everything set up, batteries connected, got me a set of ears. Time to fire this thing up and see what happens. So the sequence of events for this real quick rundown is whenever you hit the starter, that switch has 3 switches in it. The first one activates at around 35% RPM. That's when it gives full fuel to the combustor and lets the engine accelerate. That's also the point where the electric starter drops out, because the engine can accelerate on its own from that point. The second switch that activates is 95%. That's how this thing knows that it's at full speed or close to it, and it self-regulates from there and activates the system so that you can send air down the hose and start a jet engine. The last switch is one that should almost never be used, and that's the 110% speed switch. That is the overspeed shutdown. So if this thing, for some reason, goes beyond 100%, then it should shut itself off before overspeeds to the point that it catastrophically destroys the turbine. We don't want that. So, but anyway, 35 and 95 are my two set points that I'm looking for. Hopefully we get that out of this switch. So let's see what we get. Something is not happy. Okay, let me... Alright, my connections are here. I don't think there's a switch involved on this door at all. No. Alright, technical difficulties. Let me look at this. Alright, well, bad news, guys. I had to get the meter out, and I checked that switch, and the 35% switch is not doing what it's supposed to do, because right now that switch is supposed to be closed, which enables the starter, and right now it's wide open, and I can't adjust it and make it close, so that's a bad switch. Always something with this cart. Alright, but that also means now I get to go tear open the other switch and see what's going on inside it. And maybe I might do the same thing with this one. We'll see. Alright, back to the drawing board. Well, that stuff's put away. We're gonna go take a quick ride over to Vietnam War Flight Museum, see what they got going on over there today, and see if there's any progress with the F-100. So let's head over there. So good news with the F-100 Super Sabre behind me. All the parts are in, so the guys are working pretty hard at that right now to get the gearbox back together. And so she should be back in the air, hopefully within the next couple weeks. So we'll see what happens with the Hun. All right. So other than the F-100, that's all they got going on over here at Vietnam War. So we're gonna head back to our hangar. All right, everybody. Well, that wraps up this week. Wish I had more going on. I think we're going to have some more going on next week. I think we're going to be bringing the airplane up on jack so we can finish rigging the right main gear door. There's a potential that I will not be here next week. I'll see if I can leave the cameras around. But with that, there's also the potential that I may not have a video out next weekend because I have to work next weekend, and there's no way I can not schedule that. So just a heads up on that, guys. So with that, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.